The gayest thing that you could possibly do is vote. Congratulations. If you want to be gay, go vote. The only thing that's going to save this fucking country is all out revolution. So there's something that American people absolutely have to fucking realize. We are way past the point where voting is going to bring this country back. I don't care who you have in office. I don't care if it's Donald Trump. I don't care if it's fucking JD Vance. I don't care if it's any Republican. We are far beyond the point to where any elected official can save this country. The only thing that's going to save this fucking country is all out revolution. All out revolution. But in order for that to happen, the men in this country are going to have to grow their fucking balls back. The married men in this country, they're going to have to take their balls out of their wives' purses, put their wives in the kitchen where they fucking belong, and tell her, look, we have a revolution to fucking fight, and I need your ass out of the way. You can make sandwiches for me and the boys, but as for right now, we have a revolution to fight. And there is no other thing, there is no other way that we're going to get this fucking country back. Voting is not going to do it.
Shalom, Yasharallah. It's your brother Darash Shamat, and I'm back with another lesson. I'm an affiliate of the GMS Boise, Idaho camp. But before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Mekakodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles at the Great Millstone for bringing out this truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect, which includes 144,000 of the rest of the elect out there scattered around the world, including those speck of bird Israelites who may look like the other nations but are not. This is not a black thing. The Israelites are scattered all around the world. They look like these other nations. But you are who you are according to the seed of your father. And this word goes out to the 12 tribes scattered abroad because the scriptures are only written unto the nation of Israel. Now you see in the intro, there's a, supposedly Edomite appearing man who was basically saying, voting is not the thing. That's not going to change this. All right? And he's right. Okay? People have been voting. They think the midterm elections and all of that's going to change. The whole pool of applicants is all wicked. All right? Edomites in general, they're all wicked. Okay? Even if you get somebody who has so-called good intentions, once they get up there, they're going to get corrupted by the powers that be. Okay? Because the scriptures tell us that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right? So he thinks that he can save his country. All right? He's thinking, no, we need to, take up arms and revolt and do all of this stuff. Well, we know that time is coming because the scriptures tell us. Egyptian versus Egyptian. All right? Isaiah chapter 19. All right? And we went into that before, and the prophets have went into it before. All right? But the hit home point that I want to stress in this video is that the scriptures can't be broken. Babylon the Great is set to fall. Okay? This place is just going to be a big scar on the earth of the destruction that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai brought upon this place for his wickedness. And there's no escaping that. That fate is sealed. It is already written. And there's nothing that can be done about it. You can't change this place. And I've already went into lessons on the fact, that Babylon can't be healed. Okay? You can see that with the book of Jeremiah. All right? And this is, along that same line. Like, this place can't be saved. All right? There's nothing that you can do to stop what's coming. All right? It's way too late for that. All right? There's no time to change. It's too far gone. Okay? Your leaders are wicked. They're witches. They're warlocks. Okay? They worship, these ancient idols, that are written in this book. All right? And we told y'all who the wicked are. But y'all don't believe, y'all didn't want to believe it. But now that you're seeing this come out, they're all up in arms and, and stuff like that. And it's like, well, we told you. And guess what? You're just as wicked as them. All right? Because if you're not for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you're against them. Okay? And you will have no covering for your sins in the time to come, in that time of great judgment that is coming. You see, the scriptures tell you that all the gods of the nations are idols. All right? So if you're not worshiping Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you're worshiping an idol. All right? And so when that time of judgment comes, you go get yours just like they go get theirs. But let's go into Revelations 18 chapter a little bit. And you see the title, Babylon is Fallen. And Babylon means confusion, Babal, all right? And that's going into America. This is that place where confusion is set up. And you can reference the 17th chapter of Revelations, all right, which goes into that whore that rides upon the beast, which is America. America is that whore, and that beast would be the EU NATO conglomerate, these Edomites that are running the world, all right? So, verse 1 says, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. All right? So this vision is taking place, after what happened in the 17th chapter. So the Apostle John is seeing, this is the aftermath, the destruction. Okay? The aftermath of the destruction that occurred. Okay? Babylon the Great is fallen. Fallen has become the habitation of devils, in the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So this place isn't going to be inhabited by people after that. It's just going to be a desert wasteland that unclean creatures are going to roam. All right? That's what's coming to this place. That is the future of this place. So all of this stuff y'all planning, how we go overcome and do all of this and revolt, is futile. But it still has to happen. So go ahead on and do your thing. All right? There's going to be a lot of great evils that's supposed to happen in this time. Let me see. That was Jeremiah chapter 50. Let's see. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 13, it says, because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. So when they see what happened to this place, they're going to be like, oh, wow. Like, that's crazy, man. Babylon got done dirty. All right? So let's jump forward to Jeremiah 49, verse 12, where it says, for thus said Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup, speaking of the Israelites, have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? You see, the Edomites have done all kind of wickedness, right? So they all took part in, slavery and all of this stuff that they done. They touched the apple of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh's eye, and they think they could get away with it. But they don't understand that we are reincarnated beings. And just because they didn't enslave somebody in this life, it don't mean they didn't do it in their last life. All right? And so these Edomites, they were the people that were reserved to judgment, okay, for the judgment of the Heavenly Father that he was going to bring on them at the end. So they haven't been punished for all the wickedness that they've accumulated for their past lives. So that's all about to come on them. All right? So they're really about to get a harsh judgment. Okay? So they're not innocent. None of them. The whole lot of them. Every Edomite that you know is wicked. That's what they were made to be. None of them shall be spared. Okay, at the end of this thing. All right? In the kingdom, Obadiah 1 and 18. All right, after their 1,000 years of captivity, they all got to be done away with. All right? It says, thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it, that cup of wrath, okay, that they've escaped. For I have sworn by myself, said Yahweh, that Basra is a city in Edom, and right now, America is modern-day Basra, okay? That Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. So this place is never to be rebuilt, okay? It's going to be that monument to not mess with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, to not go against it. This is Revelations 18 and 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Okay? So Babylon is where all of this wickedness, is coming from. all right? It's pushing their wickedness out onto the world, okay? And don't think that it's just the elite of, America and, those Amalekites over there that's doing all of this wickedness. No, it's these other nations too, because they done got involved with it. All of them elites are wicked, all right? But it's these Edomites that are at the head of it, okay? Starting off with Amalek, all right? And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies, okay? Now, if you looked at those files and stuff, they had all kind of schemes, how they go get rich off of us, how they go, manipulate things to get rich, all right? But that's what these people do behind the scenes, all right? They're wicked down to the core. And now the world is seeing that and they're in uproar, okay? But they don't have the power to overthrow, all right? Because Yahweh Shem Yahushua set it up, okay, for them to be in charge so he could take them down. Verse 4 says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Come out of her, my people, is not talking about fleeing Babylon and going to somewhere else. No, it's talking about spiritually, okay, coming out of her, not taking part, in this culture, okay? Not, going along with that mindset, still thinking that, voting matters, still thinking about celebrating these holidays, still thinking that you got a future here, still thinking that you can hold on to this world and get something out of it, okay? But what profit a man to gain the whole world and die and lose his soul? None, okay? But think about the so-called celebrities of our people who sold out, sacrificed to idols, and done all of these, wicked things to make it in this world, all right? How is that going to benefit them in the long term when this life is nothing but a vapor compared to the eternity that we're going to receive? Okay, so you can't put your treasure in this world. You have to understand that you're going to lose everything, okay? None of this is yours. I say it a lot, okay? Your wives, your houses, your children, all of this is not yours, all right? The scriptures tell you that a man's foes will be those of his own household. So you don't know who's going to betray you in that time to come. All right? So put your faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua and store up your treasure, which is in heaven. All right? So come out of this place. This place is wicked. All right? Spiritually. And return back to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's what's important. All right? And it says to receive not of her plagues, because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, he's going to protect his people. I've never seen a righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and power hath remembered her iniquities. All right? And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is a just power. Okay? He is that righteous judge. Nobody's going to escape from his judgment. Okay? His judgment is meant to be rendered unto you. Verse 6 says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, in the cup which she had filled to her double. Okay? So Esau, Edom, Babylon, has to drink this cup of Yahweh Shem Yahushua's wrath. Okay? So, what do you mean, reward her double as what she has done unto you? All right? Think about when Yahushua in the gospel says, what you have done unto the least of these, you have done unto me. All right? So what did they do to his people? They massacred the natives, okay? All the way from, Alaska, Canada, all the way down to South America, to the islands, okay? Those were Israelites. And they brought over the southern kingdom, and they did them dirty too. With a long, lengthy captivity, and they're still not treating us right. So we are slayed all day long without mercy. So there's a great judgment coming to this place. All right, the land can only be cleansed by blood, by the blood of those who shed blood. Okay? Verse 7 says, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen, I am no widow. and shall see no sorrow. Going into the pride of this place. These Edomites literally think they could fight the whole world and win. All right? That's what they think. All right? They think that they could fight against Yahweh Shai and win. They think their technology is on par, but it's not. We know that. All right? It's written. Okay? Yahweh Shem Shai, when he come down, he's going to make quick work of these people. All right? They think that they're never going to have any suffering, and they're never going to go down. All right? Babylon the Great is, nearing that 250-year mark. All right? Well, sometime this year. All right? But guess what? Their end is near, and we can see it. We can see the signs of the times. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is Yahweh power who judgeth her. Now, plagues coming in 1 hour because this place is going to get taken down in an hour. That's all it's going to take. Yahweh Bashem Yahshua to destroy this place. The missiles will fly from one end of the earth to another. I'm talking about their ICBMs and thermonuclear destruction. And we done went into that a lot, so if you've been listening, you should be familiar with that. That's what's coming. All right? It says, lament for Babylon. Speaking of these other nations, okay, who worked with her because they made a lot of money off of her, okay? They enjoyed the delicacies and everything like that. But that's about to come to an end. All of these nations are about to be humbled, okay? They're about to be put on the bottom. It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing far off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour thy judgment coming. All right? So imagine that. Think about how big America, Babylon the Great is. Like, all right? Think about how long it takes to drive from one end to another, or to, fly from one end to another. It's huge. All right? This place is the size of multiple countries. Like each state could be another country. So that would be 50 states total in the mainland, or 48 states. So 48 countries, all right? So all of this, but to get murked, all right? But to be turned into a giant lake of fire. That's what's coming to this place. And the world is going to be in awe at the destruction that's going to happen to this place. All right? And this is the punishment of Yahweh Bashem Shai. So this place is going to be done like Sodom and Gomorrah. All right? You got to think about how wicked this place is. All right? I was watching a video. Some Edomite was talking about... or at least she appeared to be an Edomite, talking about, I didn't understand, why, she said God would destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, that way. And then I was like, well, now I can understand it. Because she saw the wickedness in those files. And she was like, whoa, if they was doing stuff like that, now I understand why he did that. All right? So guess what? You should be able to understand why he's going to do what he's going to do to Babylon the Great. Because of all the wickedness that has been committed here. All right? This is going to be the new Sodom and Gomorrah, that new memorial to remember for generations upon generations. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn for her, for no man buyeth her merchandise anymore, the merchandise of gold and silver, precious stones and of pearls and of fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner of vessels, ivory and all manner of vessels of precious wood and of brass and of iron and of marble and of cinnamon and of odors and of ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men, because they sold the Israelites, the people of Yahweh Bashem Shai, and they have to pay for that. And thy fruit that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. All right? Because there's going to be nothing here. Nothing but a memorial and unclean beast. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. They ain't gonna have no more merchandise to get from him. They ain't making no more money off of this place. All right, they gonna have bigger things to worry about, okay? Because once we come down off them ships, it's up. And alas, alas, that great city that is clothed with fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all companies and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried, when they saw the smoke of her burning, say, what city is like unto this great city? So, see, what's the point of trying to build up in this world if this is all going to be brought to naught? There is no point. There's no saving this place. There's no trying to build a future or a life here. But you can't see that. You can't understand that. All right? So this is Luke chapter 12. Let's start at verse 13. And one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother that he divide the inheritance with me. And he said unto him, Man, who made me a judge or a divider over you? And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness. For a man's life consists not in the abundance of things which he possesseth. Okay? I would say being wealthy in this world doesn't really profit you. You know, yeah, money is a defense. But if you look at Yahushua, he wasn't wealthy. All right? He just walked this world with nothing. And he was the owner of everything, okay? But he knew he wanted to get back to that position that he had. So he had a mission to complete, and we have a mission to complete, all right? So we need to follow in his footsteps and not be so caught up in the things of this world and understand that our Heavenly Father is going to provide for us. Verse 16, and he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plenty. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruit. So he's like, I got so much, I don't know what to do with it. And he said, This will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. So now he's thinking, oh, now I can do this and I can store up more of my goods, you know, like I'm going to be prepared for the future. But little did he know. Let's see. And I will say to my soul, thou hast much good laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But power said unto him, Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be for which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward power. All right? So store up your treasures in heaven. Okay? Because where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be. So don't be caught off guard thinking that everything, you know, is just going to keep on continuing on as it will in this world. These markets will crash. All out chaos will commence in Babylon the Great. And this place will be destroyed, as says the scripture. So I hope this show lessons edifying. Shalom, Yasharallah.